You talked about a little bit about the total addressable market, let's call it. Is it blue ocean, you feel like? How much opportunity is there? And how many of these properties are available? Are we talking there's within a mile of a substation with the three power lines? Is there 10,000 of these properties available, or is there a million of them? What's
Yeah,
that number look like?
yeah. So I definitely think I wouldn't call it a red ocean by any means. And I think a better way to answer that question is that there are millions of available parcels that would make great fits for solar. But back to our last question, is most of the time the biggest problem for the clean energy transition right now, Brandon, is the utilities and the interconnection required to make that happen. So, for example, there are hundreds of megawatts, which is how we measure solar in kilowatts DC, which turns to megawatt hours. There are hundreds of megawatts of potential solar projects that are submitted into the interconnection queue. So, meaning like they've got the land, they're saying, hey, we want to build this project. Here's everything that you need. We're turning it into the utility. But then the utility is basically caught in a queue that just jams up the entire process. It's like a log jam for solar projects that want to go online but can't because of all of the interconnection problems. That is the number one challenge that we're facing in terms of scaling the clean energy economy, is solving this one particular issue. The opportunity, once that gets solved, is going to just open up the floodgates. And I'll give a shout out to my local utility back in upstate New York, National Grid. These guys are handling all sorts of commercial solar and solar farm legislation from an interconnection level. They're really leading the space. And so they're coming up with a lot of creative strategies to basically redo their queue, get everything unstuck and unjammed, and then really start to streamline that process. I use that word a lot because it's actually one of the most important things. Efficiency is actually a core value of our organization. When you think about being able to keeping it at the perspective of a land investor, if I have a parcel of land and I want to turn that into passive income, I want to be able to do that in the most efficient way possible, which is directly. And land investors working with us have the opportunity to interface directly with some of the largest, most financially backed solar developers in the world who have an interest in making it work. And that partnership, partnered with these utilities starting to figure out these interconnection studies, I think it's very much already a blue ocean. I'm trying to find the right metaphor, but essentially, I think as we start to get more creative in solving these interconnection issues, Brandon, I think we're going to see the rise of commercial solar and these solar farms and solar leasing in general really start to stretch across east to west coast.